observers of astronomy consider Nibiru or Planet X to be the most talked about space news in 2017. The story got a big jolt of attention recently when a Brazilian politician named Telmario Mota pointed out in a statement that according to one of the people he represents, Nibiru could be causing a massive cataclysm upon our planet Earth as soon as October of 2017. He asked for further investigation into Planet X, while claiming NASA is well aware of an impending cataclysm. In October of 2016, Space.com reported that according to astronomer Mike Brown, the so-called Planet 9, which we refer to as Nibiru, would be found within 16 months, which would put the planet on track to be discovered no later than the end of this coming winter. What is so interesting about the mention of Planet 9 is that astronomers have claimed that its existence would help to explain almost everything we don't understand about our solar system. The mysteries of our solar system solved by the existence of such a monster, such as the tilt of the sun. Coincidentally, the nickname given for Planet 9 is the Perturber. Astronomy magazine posed the question of whether Planet 9 was responsible for the tilt of the sun. They posed the question of why Planet 9 has such a powerful effect on the sun and the solar system. It is true that we do not know everything there is to know about our solar system. We know there are gatekeepers who are keeping pertinent information from the general public. There are far too many ancient and modern mysteries, such as Stonehenge, ancient petroglyphs, crop circles, and the pyramids, that prove we still know very little in 2017, despite the technologies of today. There are potentially hazardous asteroids that are capable of wiping out entire countries. Experts warned that they might not be able to detect massive space rocks that could be hidden until it is too late. Earth's orbit passes through the region of hazardous space rocks every few years, and experts believe that we are drawing closer to it, thus posing a great risk for an asteroid strike at any given moment. These space rocks would dwarf the meteor that blasted over Russia in 2013. Such collisions with the Earth go beyond catastrophic, with some NASA scientists even believing that a planet that was once situated between Mars and Jupiter was obliterated by a collision with a huge space rock, thus creating the asteroid belt. If the theory of a Planet 9 in our solar system is quickly becoming more evident, then all of the other theories that exist today will not matter. Whether or not Planet 9 would bring with it a pole shift for Earth is way out of our current knowledge and control, but it is always best to prepare for any situation that will arise. The theory behind pole shifts is that the axis of rotation of the Earth will change from its present location. In other words, the North and South poles could shift from where they are now. This polar shift would negatively affect all life on Earth through massive climate change. This can of course happen, and it wouldn't be the first time. Here are a few possibilities on how a polar shift could occur. An asteroid or comet hitting the Earth at the right angle, so that the lithosphere or outer crust shifts underneath. On Earth, the lithosphere includes the crust and the uppermost mantle. Beneath is a weaker, hotter layer that moves independent of the mantle. An asteroid or comet collision with Earth causes the entire planet to shift its axis of rotation. An unusually magnet celestial object passing close enough to the Earth to temporarily reorient the magnetic field, which then drags the lithosphere about a new axis of rotation, as in the case of a Planet X object. The Earth's magnetic field could eventually get to zero through a reduced or lack of rotation of the Earth. This fossil forest on Healberg Island, which is now barren, dates back to the Eocene period. The trees actually did not fossilize, but instead were mummified. This indicates a much faster process where they were quickly dehydrated in an area that was once a high-latitude wetland forest, pointing to a likely polar shift. The most probable scenario, according to science, for a major change in the poles is a geomagnetic reversal. This means the Earth's magnetic field reverses or interchanges, switching the north and south magnet poles. This type of reversal has happened many times, with the most recent one thought to be about 3,500 years ago. In addition to the theory of a physical shift for the Earth, it is also possible that a spiritual shift is taking place. The Maya spoke of this spiritual shift in their teachings and interpretations, a shift to a higher level of consciousness for the world. So the rotation of the Earth could be affected by a pull from the galactic center, a center that we are moving much closer to than we have been in the last 26,000 years. So what do the Maya foresee for the remainder of 2017? Our cosmic journey will take us to the other side of the Milky Way, which could affect our sun and planet magnetically. The magnetic pull from the galactic center could slow our rotation to zero before it starts up again, possibly in the opposite direction. This would put us in sync with the natural rotation of the Milky Way on the other side. In order for the great age of spirituality to happen, there would have to be a series of rapid changes taking place in the field of technology, within our environment, and on a social scale, all of which are taking place today. It is quite interesting that the Maya apparently knew about our passage to the other side of the Milky Way, and also the timing of the great age of change. Right now, we are witnessing a cleansing or a purging of the present values, which consist of material possessions, power, and control, all of which will have no place in the next great age. What futurists and mystics may tell you is that our planet is heading towards an impending pole shift, an actual physical shift in the position of the Earth's north celestial pole, one that would have disastrous consequences around the globe. But if this were to occur, as some have implied in 2017, then how do we prepare? We cannot control the events that happen on a daily basis, but we can control how we react to these events. We can look on these events with negativity, or we can attempt to embrace the positive values that will accompany the new age that is awaiting us. The age of transformation, where the power of forgiveness will lead to unity and integrity, and which will promote inner peace in each of us. So if nothing catastrophic were to occur in the remainder of 2017, by embracing this new set of values, we would at the very least reduce the negativity, making our lives seem a bit more meaningful and worthwhile. You see, the world and its inhabitants are tired of the present values. They have lost their meaning. They serve no purpose, and people are ready for change. The world has known this for a very long time. There is more to life than getting up, going to work, having a mortgage, paying taxes, or having the latest technological gadget. If decadence is the way of the world, it is because we have made it so. It has become a function of the present era that all of us are presently a part of. On May 15th of this year, 2017, our observation team posted a video from Slovakia. dated May 13th, showing the presence of 2 suns. I posted my analysis of this particular video, which I considered to be authentic. As you can see here, the object to the 4 o'clock position of the sun is seen moving behind the clouds. Now, anyone who knows anything about lens flare anomalies or refractions originating from the reflection of a camera lens are well aware that a lens flare cannot appear behind an edifice. Now, whether that be clouds or tree branches or any other type of obstruction. The object seen in this video, which we refer to as a second sun, does not fluctuate, which means it does not move about in relation to the position of the sun. It is primarily in a stationary position at the time in which the object was captured. So this gives considerable credence to the authenticity of this video. The evidence continues to show the presence of a celestial body or a system of planets that are creating havoc across our solar system. Now, the reason that I am bringing up this particular video evidence from last month is that it has garnered much attention across social media, including one of the more notable Planet X researchers and investigators, whom many of you may be familiar with, Marshall Masters. Now, Marshall has written several books on surviving the Planet X tribulation. He has been a frequent guest of the nationally syndicated radio program Coast to Coast, and he is the former Science Features news producer at CNN. Mr. Masters has written and presented a detailed frame-by-frame analysis of the Facebook video, which he has made available on his website, Your Own World USA, and you can find the link to this article in the description section of our video presentation. He divided his analysis into 3 categories: the field of view, gamma testing, and smartphone exposure analysis. All 3 are equally important. However, in order to get a general indication of where this object of interest may be seen at this time, let's concentrate on the first one, the field of view. As you can see in this screen capture of our Facebook posting, I indicated that the object, which we refer to as the second sun, is gradually moving to a position that puts it slightly above the ecliptic plane of our solar system, where all of the planets are situated as they move in their counterclockwise orbits around our sun. It also appears that the object of interest is beginning its closest approach to the sun, which we call perihelion. As Marshall has indicated in his analysis, the official time of this capture for this location was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, time of sunset on the date of capture, May 12th, was at approximately 8:20 in the evening. This would make the timing of this video capture rather unusual, in that most observations up until this time have been either at sunset or during sunrise. So as you can see here, that places the position of this object of interest above the horizon and at the point of the ecliptic. If we take into consideration that the Earth's axis is tilted at 23.5 degrees from the plane of its orbit. The object of interest is labeled in this frame so that you can see its relative position to the planets on the ecliptic plane. According to the observational sky charts, both Venus and Mercury are well below the sun and not in our field of view. So although the point of view of the observer relative to the sun would place the object of interest at the 4 o'clock position, the actual location would be relative to the ecliptic. It therefore places the object slightly above the ecliptic at the 2 o'clock position relative to the sun. This is quite frankly disturbing from one very interesting reason. For some time now, most observations of the incoming object or system of objects, depending on what we are observing at any particular time, would place their position somewhere behind the sun, as its presence was primarily observable during either sunrise or during sunset. Since this video observations were this particular video were made several hours before sunset on May 12th, an astute observer of this phenomena would have to consider the probability that this object of interest is nearing the point of perihelion, its closest approach to the sun. If the analysis is correct, then the celestial body, which is just one of several that are accompanying this binary system, will eventually move into a position that will place it squarely between us and the sun, thus leading to the 3 days of darkness that so many have spoke of both in Scripture and in prophecy. There is one more very important aspect of the analysis that Mr. Masters conducted. In his gamma testing, he experienced in accurate detail the difference between a real entity and a lens flare refraction. As you can see here, there are two distinctly bright sources of light present in the video frame, the second sun appearing behind the cloud, whereas the faint green object is appearing in front of the tree branches, this being a lens flare. In the next frame, the gamma is reduced by 50%. The hot objects are persistent, but the green object is beginning to fade. By the time the gamma is reduced by 75%, the green object is gone. Finally, when the gamma is reduced by 90%, all that remains is the two objects in the sky. Everything else has turned to dark. Marshall Masters' video frame analysis clearly indicates that the object of interest is a celestial body in space. It is not an anomaly or an aberration. Most importantly, his analysis confirms what we have been saying all along. There is something perturbing the natural rhythm of our solar system, and this has been happening for quite some time now. We have been seeing the effects of this perturber here on Earth in the way of extreme climate change and in the way of significant Earth changes, all of which are contributing to an extended tilt of the Earth's axis towards the magnetic influence of this great perturber. I would like to thank Marshall Masters for his recognition of our work on this subject and his contributions in our effort to inform the general public. Have claimed that its existence would help to explain almost everything we don't understand about our solar system. The mysteries of our solar system solved by the existence of such a monster, such as the tilt of the sun. Coincidentally, the nickname given for Planet 9 is the perturber. Astronomy magazine posed the question of whether Planet 9 was responsible for the tilt of the sun into Planet X, while claiming NASA is well aware of an impending cataclysm. In October of 2016, Space.com reported that according to astronomer Mike Brown, the so-called Planet 9, which we refer to as Nibiru, would be found within 16 months. Which would put the planet on track to be discovered no later than the end of this coming winter. What is so interesting about the mention of Planet 9 is that astronomers, casual observers of astronomy, consider Nibiru or Planet X to be the most talked about space news in 2017. The story got a big jolt of attention recently when a Brazilian politician named Telmario Moura pointed out in a statement that according to one of the people he represents, Nibiru could be causing a massive cataclysm upon our planet Earth as soon as October of 2017. He asked for further investigation